Hello and welcome, my dear listeners. Our esteemed guest today has dedicated his entire life embarking on a quest to unravel the profound existential queries that resonate within us all since his formative years. Born in the enchanting landscapes of Argentina in the early 70s, his journey has been steeped in the poignant hues of pain, suffering, and the inevitability of mortality during his early years. Remarkably, he now regards these trials as blessings, catalysts that ignited an intense spiritual exploration. Over the course of time, his spiritual odyssey has manifested itself through diverse realms, adorned with the brushstrokes of adventure, nature, artistic expression, philosophical contemplation, the embrace of ancestral wisdom, and the healing powers of medicinal plants. Each chapter in his life narrative represents a nuanced exploration of the human spirit's resilience amid the tapestry of existence. Since establishing residence in the United States in 2002, our guest continues to tread his spiritual path with unwavering commitment. Today, he stands as an architect of spirituality, intricately weaving together the threads of his acquired skills and profound experiences to cultivate a spiritual community. Within this sacred space, spiritual growth flourishes under his tender care of beauty, harmony, and love. I invite you to join me in savoring the wisdom and insights of this remarkable individual as he articulates his journey, an odyssey that unfolds like a masterpiece, each stroke contributing to the creation of a community devoted to the nurturing of the soul through the transcendent qualities that he himself embodies: beauty, harmony, and love. And now please enjoy this conversation with Fab Sotos. Hello and welcome, everyone. I am your host, Valkyrie, and today I am super excited to be with Fab, or Fabrizio, and your last name?
Sotos.
Sotos. And we find ourselves in a beautiful space called Divine Human Center, and the owner is right here in front of me. Hello and welcome, Fabrizio. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Hello, and hello to everybody watching us.
Watching and listening. So I'm going to start with a question, and this is a series of episodes that talk about true love. So my first question for you is, what is true love for you?
Here we go. So I've been in the spiritual path for many years, and of course the spiritual path is linked to love. So for me, true love is just the alignment and the feeling of love in myself that I can also see reflected and flowing through everything. So I can see it in your heart, I can see it in my mom's heart, I can see it in the people that comes to the center heart, I can see it in nature, like in the earth, birds, trees, dogs, everywhere. So for me, that's true love, is that energy that puts it all together and makes it go forward.
Okay. Well, even though the intention of this True Love series is to talk about love relationships,
Yeah.
right? But I totally agree with you. You went to the whole of what is true love, because true love can be, oh, my true love for music. In your case, you are an
Yeah.
artist, a composer, a writer. And but tell me, what is your experience with love relationships? Like throughout your whole life, have you seen any pattern? I mean, you currently don't have a girlfriend.
No, no, I'm not in a relationship. But if I need to start like going back in my life, I would start with my mom, which is she's the one that nurtured me, gave me love, and showed me love in an unconditional way, and ways that I can even put into words. I was lucky enough to have my grandma also, so I also have my grandma living with me closer in my childhood, and she was the second source of infinite and unconditional love as a second mother. So I always think that, and I always say that I had two moms and two dads because I grew up really close to them. So that made me grow up with a lot of love. So so that was that, and then the first true love relationship, it was when I was in my 20s that I had my girlfriend, 21, 19, 21. And that was the first experience of love with a partner and really exploring beyond the family, exploring beyond myself and my family. And that was an interesting learning experience. She is a great teacher. She showed me a lot of things about love, attachment, how we behave, and everything. And it took me a few years after we finished the relationship to kind of like learn, look at myself and see where I was wrong, what did I do right or wrong, and integrate that in my life. And yeah, and then I went through another couple series of relationship, kind of testing all the knowledge that I could gather from this relationship. Then I got married, and I was married for like 10 years. And then after that, I have another couple of relationships. And then I got into another relationship for 6 years. And that was another great teacher in my life. So I would say that I had three great teachers when it comes to relationship with a woman. The first one, the ones that I was married to, and the last one.
Would you say that all of them were true love? Because in my opinion, is true love, it doesn't have to be like forever, right? It can be true love in the moment.
Yeah.
And but usually we tend to describe true love as, oh, he or she is my true love. It means like for the rest of my life, oh, I have found my true love. But I disagree with that description or term. Like, I do believe that a person can have more than one true love per se in life, right? But usually we give that description to the most special person that we have had in our life,
Yeah.
true love, right? So would you describe it as, yes, I had different true loves, but all of them were true loves?
Yes.
Or,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, definitely. Because I look at everything from a spiritual perspective, and the meaning of life for me is just expand love, just expand it in ways that you haven't experienced. So I think every person in your life, in this case every relationship, brings you a way of feeling love, a way of expressing love in a different way. So if you keep that in mind, then so every person that you love, every relationship that you love, expresses love from a different angle, if you want to say it that way, and enrich the love that you can feel. So that's something very important for me every time I finish a relationship, not to block or just to add bad feelings to it. So always learning from my partner. If it's not with me anymore, that's okay. But learning what experience she bring or she brought, and from there enrich that expression of love and expand love in different ways. So right now I can say that I love all my ex-girlfriends, all the partnerships that I had. I love them still in the present, and they all have a special place in my heart because they open a different dimension of love in my heart. Each one of them, different memories, different feeling, different way of feeling it. So that's how I see it.
So one of the things you have shared with me, you are a person that have been in the spiritual path for long now, right?
Yeah.
And I would like to know your experience with ayahuasca. I have never met anybody that has done ayahuasca many times as you. I mean, I'm not saying that it like in a bad way, but I'm just very impressed. So I'm really curious, number one, when that started and what triggered the the decision of like, okay, I'm going to try this thing and see how it goes.
Yeah. So like I say, I started my spiritual path at a very young age, and I kind of look and I search in my when I was young, and I kind of read a lot of religions and a lot of philosophies, and I kind of put together what resonated with my heart, and I followed that through my life. So by the time I was in my 40s, almost 40, I was living a happy life. I didn't have any blockages or any trauma or anything weird. I was in a happy place, but I felt like something was missing. I felt like there's more. I knew, and I could feel it. So I was studying at the time the brain and how the brain works, and I came across some studies that they were talking about how the brain works and all the nice studies that are coming up with psychedelics. So at that point, it made sense in my head, in my mind, and I also started to read all the spiritual experiences. And at that point, I was like, okay, that's it. That's what I need to do. And I jumped on it, and I went, and I did it. And that was in 2014, and it's been pretty much every year. So I have great experiences. The first time I went, my third ceremony was like an explosion and an expansion, and feeling love and feeling, seeing with my own eyes the truth that I was reading from somebody else. So at that point, I was like, okay, I can see now with my own eyes, my own heart, this is true, this is what it is, and gave me the answer to all the questions that I have in my life.
Wow. Did you share that with your mother?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It happened.
Did you tell her before or
No,
after?
no. I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her. I just went and did it. And then it happens that I had to go back over there the same week right after that because of a situation. So I went back and I told her, and she was pretty scared, but at the same time she started to see that I kind of changed and I had a different view, and I was showing myself as being more loving, more open. So she kind of saw immediately a difference, and after all these years she's seen the work and the evolution, and she doesn't like it, she wouldn't do it, but she sees the value in it in my life.
And what about your siblings? How many siblings do you have?
A brother and a sister, yeah.
Okay. Younger?
Yeah, they're both younger than me. And
what do they think about that?
Same thing. They all saw the difference and the change throughout the years, and that's something that it's reassuring because you are doing your path, your growth, you're changing, you're bettering yourself, and that you see reflected that in your family when they talk to you, and
right,
and they see and they confirm all the changes, and so it's a good thing.
Have they tried it themselves?
No, only my brother. He did some ceremonies with mushrooms this year, and yeah, he was happy with it, and he's still working through.
What is one of the questions that you ask in the first ceremony? Like, what was the question, if you had a breakthrough, did you get your question answered?
Yeah, so I think So I had kind of all the answers when I went to do it, because of all the religions, all the teachers, they give you the answers. So you take those answers and you live your life with those. But for me, it was like I was living my life with answers from somebody else's experience. So that's what would trigger me and push me
Right.
to go and seek it for my own. And ayahuasca was for me the tool that made me see it and feel it and knowing this is the way it is. And because the way I'm wired in my brain is very a unique perspective of life. So, and I think the first thing I saw is like that love is everywhere and there are different expressions of love. I remember thinking as I'm entering to this portal of beauty, looking at remembering my mom and I can feel her love, remembering my partner and feeling the love, and I'm like, oh, it's all one love. So it's all one love. So at that point, everything clear, and for me, the way I see it is all one love in my heart. So
Right. That's beautiful. Can you share exactly what was your question at that time?
um, no, it's not like I had a question. That was the realization that I had, that the first big ceremony that, in my case, the way I live, I can feel love from my brother, from my sister, from my mom, from my partner, but at the end of the day, it's all one love flowing through me and
Right.
expressing through me in my life with them, with everybody, with everything that we have in our life. So that was the first realization. Another one in the same ceremony was like, that I can remember that each one of us, if you will, are like, it's one eye of the divine in this plane. So because each one of us has a unique perspective of what you're living, so you're just gifting that to the divinity with your own perspective. So
Right.
so that makes us, each one of us is so precious, the way we look, the way we think, the way we act, because it's unique and it's a very unique perspective of life.
Yeah, I've heard something like God, we are God experiencing itself
Yeah, it's
with
it's a
every one of
different
us.
way of
Yes.
saying it.
Right.
But the way I saw it, it was a vision where I saw all, like a sea of eyes all together. So I was like, oh, that's all of us. And each one of us is like an eye seeing and just giving
Right.
that perspective to the all.
Have you used ayahuasca in order to get clarity, to make a big decision in life, for instance?
Yeah, yeah. So I have, like I said before, right? With all these years, I've done so many ceremonies, and with every year, you learn something new, different things. But in the last few years, I started to notice a trend in when I'm in the ceremony. There's one or two ceremonies that you get like really clarity in your mind, and you are like really grounded and you know where you are and you see everything, but at the same time you have this super mind where you look at something and you're not, and you're grounded, so you can point your mind into something. And when you point your mind and your focus on something, it's like, because you are in this super brain status, I guess, you see several options, many perspectives and different possibilities to that situation. So with that, you get to choose. I mean, okay, I like this, and I like that one, and I like that one, and you cannot remember those things. And then you go through the ceremony thinking about work, thinking about your life, thinking about yourself, and thinking about everything that you want to focus, and you get several visions or possibilities on what you can do. So when you come back, then you have a list of things that you really saw in the ceremony.
That
Those
sounds
are the
really
real
cool.
visions of the
Wow.
ceremony, not just the colorful thing, beautiful things. Those
Right.
are
The
that's the
beings,
theatrical
they,
part of
they
it. But
talk
the
about.
real vision when you work with the medicine is when you can go and you have the clarity of mind and heart to look at something in your life, because you have your brain super excited with different. It's your whole brain is working. It's all connected and everything's. You have a super head, a super brain. You think of something and you get perspectives and possibilities that you could not think in a different way. But then you come back with those things and you act on those, and that's how you change your life. And one big thing and a beautiful thing is it always you always look at what you've been doing. It's always good. So
Do you mean like in the
so
sense of like nothing is a mistake?
yeah. So that's
Everything
the
like had
thing.
to
Every
happen
time
that way.
I've done and I'm in that stage, looking in the future, you get those perspectives, you get those possibilities. But every time I look back to see what I was doing, it's always a confirmation that you're doing great, no matter what you're doing. So that's beautiful to see because it gives you like, okay, you're doing good. No matter what you do, you're doing good. Always that's the message.
Wow,
So
that sounds like super powerful.
yeah,
Like, yeah, I've heard, of course, so many things about people that, I mean, from people that have experienced ayahuasca, and all of them seem that, well, especially when it comes to heal or transform addiction.
yeah.
Have you had any addiction?
Nothing too crazy. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Uh, a few things here and there, but nothing crazy like bad. That
Nothing like a real addiction, like I cannot be able to quit.
Yeah, yeah. Um, no, because I would say that things that I've been doing or did for a while that didn't serve me, I stopped doing them, and then I keep working on those things, and little by little you kind of, but nothing like an addiction. Yeah.
So you told me before that you have gone to the same place to do ayahuasca. Has it been with the same shaman, with the same in the same complex or jungle or whatever?
Yeah, it's the same retreat every time, the same retreat, and it's been all these years, and with the same people, the same facilitators, and always different people because different people go to the center every time, and yeah.
So, can you tell us about the preparation, like eating certain foods, like 1 or 2 weeks in advance before the ceremony, or I mean mentally, physically, emotionally? How would you describe the state that one person, like a first timer, should prepare?
So the first thing I would say is like I don't hear that very often, but that's been my attitude all the time with psychedelics. It's like you are going into that path because you want to meet the divine, you want to see the divine, and that would be the intention. Because sometimes I see people going just because they want to try or because they want to heal the trauma or they want to look at something, and that's all well and good too, but it's just, I think, falling short of the task. I think if you go to look for the divine, to meet the divine with your full heart, everything else gets taken care of throughout the ceremonies, of course. So there are different ceremonies that you could do, and because the ayahuasca and that state tends to take you where your head and your heart is, so it will take you there. So, but you have to really aim high. But you won't get there. You won't be getting there without working some other things. But the fact that you're looking something bigger than you, it will help you to get there and clean and work whatever else you have. And when it comes to the mind and the heart, physically eating healthy, no meats, and like a more vegetarian diet with exercise helps. And the prior weeks, different centers have different things that you advise not to eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those shamans do recommend not to eat meat prior. I am just curious because, well, I'm vegetarian and I don't really promote vegetarianism because I do believe that everyone is different. So I do believe, like I know people that eat only meat and that's their main source of,
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm just curious. Like I don't believe in, crazy stuff like no anybody nobody should eat meat and everybody should just become vegetarian or
No,
vegan.
no. When it comes to that, yes, you can eat meat, but certain meats, the week prior, just to kind of cleanse the body, they recommend doing it a few weeks prior. But you can eat meat and do it with meat.
Right.
And I've seen people that eat meat until the week before, and it's
Right.
all good. It's just
It all comes down to quality,
Yeah.
right? Either meat or veggies, but
yeah,
good
because
quality.
physically it could be, and it is most of the time, like very demanding effort because you're working with the medicine, and the medicine makes you purge, the medicine makes you have different feelings and things. So the cleaner, the lighter you are, I think is the better.
Better.
Yeah.
So how many hours does it last? Have you had like short periods or like sometimes
Yeah.
or it's always about the same?
Yeah, it could be 4 or
Or
5
it depends
hours.
on your physique.
Yeah.
Like if you are petite like me, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like how many hours? I guess it depends on the dosage. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
each person is different, so it could be 4, 5, 6 hours depending on each. I remember one ceremony I started at 8 and it was 5 o'clock and I was still having my visions and stuff, so it was a long ceremony. But yeah, it goes a lot in where you are, how you are, what you ate, how is your body, and the dosage of the medicine. So-
Okay, we have to cut now because the sun is really bothering me. So I don't know if should we move because it's just right there. Like,
Yeah.
can we move that way? Yeah, it's not gonna
Okay.
work. I don't think it's going to look good in the. Like it's on me the whole time, and yeah, I'm not.
Let me see.
Can you block it?
Yeah, let's do that. Ya. Sí. Ya está, le faltan 2 minutos, pero
2 minutos para que se baje.
2 minutos, 3 o 4 minutos, pero ya va a bajar.
Okay.
A ver si le puedo. Qué justo que dio. Y si pongo eso, no se va a caer. Ay, no me pega. Parece que le di. Sí, ya.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you are an artist. Can you talk a little bit about that and how going in this spiritual journey has helped you to develop even more as an artist?
Well, yeah. So I started out with music when I was in high school, 16, 17. and I started learning by myself, mostly keyboards. So I had one band and I was playing keyboard there. Then I have another one and I was playing the bass. Always learning by myself and doing it as we go. And then I started when I moved to the United States, 2002. I started with a friend from Argentina doing music online, and we needed a singer. So he told me, "Okay, why don't you just sing after a few months?" So I started singing too, and that was something that I really noticed. Okay, I can write, I can have nice melodies, and I can express, and my words can be out there more than the music. So that was the beginning of the path of writing and playing music and recording. And that lasted a few years. We're still in the same band doing rock, pop, electronic. And with the medicine and the work in the spiritual work, I started to be more interested in different music, healing music and sound healing music and medicine music. And little by little, I started to write, and the writing was coming out a lot better with better lyrics, better melodies. And now it's like my heart is just in medicine music, so I'm just writing and working on a CD for medicine music to do during ceremonies and to also sing and at events and stuff. So it's been a nice spiritual journey with music as well.
What was your first source of inspiration when you were 16 years old that told you, hey, you go this way and learn this thing?
I guess at that time it was the sound. I was really crazy about the sound and the music and the technical part of the music. I remember spending afternoons and afternoons just listening to the music and kind of like paying attention and learning how it's recorded, where the sound is, what's doing what, and how everything comes together. Mm-hmm. And so that was for a few years, just the music mostly. And then I went into the lyrics and the writing and expressing deeper with what I'm thinking. And at that point, I was just writing about love, life, and you can see a lot of confusion and suffering and sometimes frustration was coming on those years, because it's just where I was in my heart. And just with the years, you can see little things, little sparks of inspiration, and a beautiful song comes with a nice lyric and a nice message. And with the years and the spiritual growth, more and more and more of that music comes out, to the point where today I can't write a sad song. I just always write songs about celebrating life and love and sharing and healing. So that's all I can write now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Music is the language, universal language of our feelings. So you would say definitely that psychedelics, in this case ayahuasca, has helped you enhance your musical abilities.
Yeah. Even I mean, before ayahuasca, I was very dark in a way. I was dressing up all the time, dark browns and blacks and stuff. And after that, I just went to any color is fine. My greens, my purples, my oranges, my yellows, so I can wear anything. I love that. So I'm good with colors now, but it was something that I noticed, like right after ayahuasca, after seeing that, you become more colorful in every aspect of your life.
Nice. So you moved to the US some years ago, and how did a beautiful project of Divine Human Center started, and why?
That's part of the spiritual path, I guess. So, like I said, I've been working on music. I've been working on my spiritual path and everything, and it came to the point where I was happy, having a great life, friends, family, traveling. But one of the last ceremonies last year, the message in my head was like, okay, the next level in your life is just integrating everything that you know, like music, the business side of things. I really love hosting and having people over and putting people together, bringing people together. That's something that I really enjoy and love. I love sound healing. I love music. I love parties. I love cooking. I love traveling. So that was the message. So it took me a few months to figure out exactly how I can put everything together that I want. And one day it hit me. It's like, okay, you have the house, you have the music, you have the friends, you have the healing friends or the spiritual friends. Why don't you just do a center in your own home and just bring people together? And that's what I've been doing. I've been coming up with this idea of divine human since 2018 when I did one CD that's called the same way. And
Okay.
it's just the evolution of that. Then I did a documentary about ayahuasca and the spiritual path, and it's called Divine Humans as well. So it's just the next level of my life, being of service to others, just putting everything together that I know what to do and how to do it, and just doing it. And I'm supported. I have a great job, so it's not like I need it for money. It's just something that I enjoy doing. It gives a different level of purpose now to my life, being of service to others.
Right.
And I'm in a position where I don't need to be making it as, okay, this is my living now. Eventually, if it comes to that, that's great. But for now, it's just I'm enjoying the path, and it really makes me feel very happy to be that vessel.
Yes, I've had the pleasure to be here for several of your amazing events, and I feel just the love of your community is all of them. I mean, you host gatherings in English and gatherings in Spanish the second and third Wednesday of every month.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think we are in a great time where we need to be together, this like-minded and like-hearted people, and that's the goal, just to bring people together. And I've been telling everybody that each one of us is the healer, and just by talking and being together, somebody else can help somebody else that's going through something, or I can help somebody that's going through something, and we heal each other and we help each other, and that's the message, that's the goal. So.
Right, it is such a beautiful message and something to strive for every time that you come together with community. This year, actually, and I believe this is one of the reasons why I met you, I put it out there in the universe like, okay, I want to feel loved in an environment, in a community of people that strive for the same, that are in the spiritual path. And yeah, here I am with you and your amazing community. And I have to thank a lot our friend in common, Benjamin. So I put it out there. I don't consider myself a social person, to be honest with you. Like, I like to work. I mean, I have a background in engineering, and I like machines more than humans. But this year, I don't know if because I'm getting old, I don't know, I feel like, okay, I just need more. I need humans around me. I need to share. I need to, like you said, we heal each other. We help each other. And I mean, for instance, I always find myself adopting big sisters or big brothers because I'm the oldest child. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should find a community of love and light. And yeah, so I feel very lucky to be here with you and be part of all this and the things that you are creating. So can you tell me what is the biggest feeling that you get having the opportunity to create all this with all the people?
It has many levels. I think one of the things that has been really exciting and surprising for me is how life works, because it has been giving me different things at different times that I use for my personal life, and all of a sudden I can see that all that is also being given to support me in this project, which is higher than even myself or anything. So it's really nice to see that weaving and that flowing of light where you think it's for you, but in the long term it's for a bigger purpose that you don't even have an
Right.
idea, and you
Yes.
think you have an idea but you don't. And I can see that in everybody's life, but in my case I've been looking at that and I'm just like, oh my god, this is so interesting, this is so much fun, this is so much funny in a
Right.
way that makes me happy, and also gives me the purpose of like being the vessel, because it's just ideas that are coming, and do this, do that, or you could do this, or you could do this, and somebody says something and we can do that, and everything's coming together and we're doing it, and it feels good to be just a vessel of something bigger.
Right. Everything that something that I noticed was that everybody just loves you. Like all the people that come here, I'm like, they just love you and enjoy being with you. And something that I'm impressed, as I mentioned, I didn't consider myself that social. I don't consider myself that social. But now I'm trying because I want contact with humans. Your patience, like you listen with your heart. Like I can just see that every time in every gathering, when you talk to someone, you look their heart, you listen to their hearts, and I have never seen that before. I mean, I have seen it like big masters, right? Like my Tao masters, my Tao teachers, but never like anybody else around me,
Yeah.
let's say. And that's so beautiful.
No,
Like I'm not that patient, so
Yeah.
if somebody is talking, to be honest with you, I'm like,
yeah.
no.
No, I think
I'm having a deja vu right now.
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
That's beautiful.
We have done this before, and even that plan.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, I've been working on it, and not constant, but it's just like at some point I realized, like, when you really feel that each one of us is an eye for the divine, and each one of us has a very unique, beautiful experience, regardless of the traumas or regardless of the challenges. And they're telling you what, especially in this environment where we sit together and we are in an environment of openness, when you have somebody talking about what they feel, what they do, I feel like I could be part of helping somebody just by listening, just by being present with myself,
Right.
being present here, wishing the best for somebody in that moment. I think there's something, it's just me, but I think when you're listening with your heart and with the awareness that we are all one, when you listen and you look at it, it's like you help in a way that I can't explain, to make the process of that person flows better, if you will. But it's not us. I understand it's love that is everywhere.
Right,
So the
right.
fact that I'm hearing somebody say something about their life that they're struggling, and I'm here wishing the best, it's just the divine eye watching the divine eye from a different perspective. So that I think that somehow makes the process easier for the other person, and that's why I love it. It's just like you don't have to do much, or you just be present for somebody
Right.
with intention of goodwill,
Yes.
and somehow the divine does the magic.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think, well, I haven't been to any psychologist. I mean, I'm just very impressed with, because it does take patience and love in order to listen with your heart. And not everybody can do that. I mean, I'm thinking about psychologists or psychiatrists. I don't know. I don't know if that's the same for them. Like, I mean, they go by the book, I suppose, right?
Mhm.
But when they put their hearts, I think everything just enhances and the whole experience. And it
Makes
is
sense.
all about energy, right? Because you are listening with your heart and they are just expressing even more themselves. This is how I feel. And they open. And oftentimes that's the only way we heal, because when we listen to ourselves, you're listening to me, but I'm listening to myself as well. I can have like breakthroughs on the spot, like literally. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And so then magic happens again, because you're putting love in this conversation, and I am as well. So then it creates more of that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So can you share a vision in ayahuasca ceremony that really like it hit you hard? Like maybe it was a bean. I'm so curious about these beans that people talk about. You know, like they can talk to Mother Earth, or they become one with Mother Earth, or they see these beings giving them messages. Have you had anything like that?
No.
No?
And that's the thing. That's what I was saying. Having the goal of meeting the divine, because that was my goal all along since I was young.
So it is about the intention that you set in the beginning. Like for instance, I like to connect with Mother Kuan Yin. So if I go in a ayahuasca journey, so then if I say, Mother Kuan Yin, please give me a message, so then I
Yeah.
will get a message from her or something
I
like that.
think it has to do a lot with how we are wired and our beliefs. In my case, I was really wired because the way life brought me to look for the divine, because that was the main goal. It's like I went through a lot of suffering and death and sickness experience with my dad when I was young. That was the catalyst to look for why we're here, what's life, we have, where we suffer, and everything. And I was like, okay, I'm going to figure all that out, but I want to meet the divine. I want to see, I want to feel what was underneath everything. That was my goal all along. So, and my whole life was constructed around that. My beliefs, my religions, everything that I studied was around that. So when I got to the ayahuasca, I was wired to meet the divine, and it just showed me the divine in a way that it was perfect for me, because it's very artistic, it's very musical with sounds, it's very in my face, in my body, everywhere, and that's what makes it perfect for me, because it shows me exactly what I needed to see. But I understand it's different for different people, because the wiring of the brain is different for each one of us, and that's the beauty, because it won't be beautiful all experience being the divine the same way. It has to be different.
It
has to be different.
Right, cannot be the
It
same.
can't. Why would it?
Why would it
Yeah.
be?
Why? Yeah. So that's why
It
I
would be
always.
boring.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, if you, in my case, I got to that. For example, I can say the way I see it, and I always say it, is beauty, harmony, and love. That's all I see everywhere in creation, and that's what the gift that I'm giving to the creation, having that eye and that presence that see everything, love flowing through everything, because it's always in harmony. It doesn't deviate from harmony. When it does that, it creates beauty, but not a beauty. It's a divine beauty, something beautiful at a cosmic level. So that's what I see everywhere, and that's how I live my life: beauty, harmony, and love. And everything that I do, I try to make it with love, in harmony, to create a beauty.
Yeah.
So, and that makes me feel like I'm a finite version of the infinite in this plane, doing the same thing. And because I'm doing something that the universe does, I feel aligned all the time. So, and
Yeah,
that makes you happy.
that's
That
profound.
gives you
Makes you
happy. That gives you peace. That gives you all your answers and all. So,
Would you describe peace equals to happiness? Or no, I would say, because happiness, I see it oftentimes like you cannot be happy the whole time. Like, okay, I cannot be, let's say, joyful. Like, I cannot be like laughing or like just happy the whole time. But for me, it's more like a balance of every aspect of your life. So then that's happiness, right? Like, you cannot be happy if one aspect of life is like if you're sick or you don't have a job and
Yeah.
things like that, right? So I would say, in my experience, is like a balance of all aspects of life. So would you describe it kind of the same, or?
No, I remember now that you mentioned that. I remember, I think it's a Buddhist definition of happiness, and happiness would be something along these lines, is the lack of suffering. So if you think it that way, everything will be happiness once you overcome suffering.
Right.
So suffering is not something. I mean, we will all experience pain. We all will experience pain. There's no work around it. But the suffering is optional at a certain level. But it's also good because it teaches you things. But when you come to that point where you don't need to suffer to learn, that's when you have, I think, a happy life, no matter what. Because I can have a bad day, I can be in a bad mood at some point, but the baseline is always a happiness, a contentment, a connection with the divine. So I'm always happy.
Like higher levels of consciousness kind of like equals to happiness then.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can have a bad day, but you see it from the outside. You are not, you don't stay in it
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
part of it,
And
right?
have the tools, and I know what to do to go
Right,
back to my
tools.
center. So yeah, it happens sometimes that you're at work and something happened, or something happened, and then you know what you do to come back to your center and just, but at least you're still happy. It's just, it's a different kind of happiness, I guess.
Do you believe in evil? Like, yeah, like evil, because, well, some say God is everything, right? God is everyone. It doesn't matter. And again, we come back to the beginning of this conversation where we said God is experiencing itself in each one of us. So, do you believe in evil?
Not really. It's just like different expressions of the divine. And yes, some people might have like a very intricate and twisted way of thinking and
being.
acting, but still it's the expression of the divine.
At the end of the
And
day, like one
yeah,
says.
and if we really have that creator mind, that creator heart, we can make grow flowers out of it, the most evil thing. So, and that's something that life taught me over and over again. Something might look like something really bad, but with time and with work and with the right attitude, you make it to something to nurture something bigger. So at that point, how you define that as the evil? Because, see what I mean?
Yeah, that's a hard topic
Yeah.
to go deep into it. And it has like a lot of layers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it all depends. Again, we come back like, well, like I do believe in evil. Like, okay, there's things that are really evil out there, and that you cannot just like even fathom. Like, how can this be? How can this be divine, right? In Tao wisdom, we say those, let's say the evil or whatever, are way far from Tao. They are part of Tao, obviously, part of the divine, but they are far away.
Yeah.
So for me, it's kind of like, it is like a contradiction, right? Because it's still part of Tao, it's still part of the divine, but at the same time, they are far away. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. But I mean, that's how I'm wired, like to see the beauty of everything. So if you give me the worst evil person or the worst evil circumstances, I will work something out to make it to make it
To make it
count.
better.
To make it count. To make it count. Because
Right.
if you think about it, something bad happens and nature and has a way to recycle it and make it grow again, or just to make it work again. So if we align with that process, we are doing the same thing. So
Right. We'll just say, like, since you were a kid, like, let's say 5 or 6 years old, you were a more conscious person than the rest of the kids you would hang out with. Like,
yeah, my 12, 13, 14, I guess I would say.
Okay,
Yeah.
you-
Yeah, at that time was when I started like really look more in depth. Yeah. Because my dad was sick with cancer, and he got sick for a couple of years, and he suffered a lot. So I saw that. I saw that suffering, death really early on, and that was what makes me okay. I'm going to figure it out,
right.
and that's something that, yeah, I'm thankful now, because it's just like it changed my life in a way that if I didn't have that, I wouldn't walk the way I walk my life.
Right.
And now I see it, and now it's like, at the time I remember it was the worst thing. I was mad. I didn't think there was a God. I mean, yeah.
Right.
So that's why in my own experience I can see something that looks like it's really bad. If you really make it work to your advantage, it makes you grow. It makes you help you move forward.
Right. Do you believe in karma?
I will, yeah, well, I always have a hard time with that, because no matter what I did all the time, I always had love in my heart for the things that I was doing. So I don't feel like I experience something that comes to punish me, or I always look forward as a creation, as okay, this is happening, but I'm going to make it work for me. So when you have that mind, everything that comes to you is to
You just
service you,
accept
to
it.
help you, to. So it depends too how you define karma, but I don't think a lot about that.
Right. So you don't really think about past lives, because that's what it means, right?
Yeah,
The
no,
reincarnation of, like, okay, like, for instance, if somebody cheats on me, so then, oh, maybe I cheated on him or her in a past lifetime, right? Let's say.
So yeah, I don't
And,
think I
right.
used to think about. I used to believe in reincarnation, and when I finally have that experience, that spiritual experience, I kind of look at that in a different way. So, so now I don't see it as reincarnation. I see it what's it called? What's the word? Like being reborn. So the way I see it, right, is like. If I'm saying that love is everything that exists, flows through everything, and if I die now, love is still everywhere. So that consciousness is in you, is in the dog, is in the tree, and it's been being reborn all the time, and it's going to continue.
Reborn.
So
Not reincarnate, but reborn.
because reincarnation, it means, I mean, for me, like a soul or an ego going from life after life. And I don't see it that way. I see it more like a flow of a consciousness,
Of energy, just
energy
moving
going
forward
life
all
after
the
life.
time.
So after
Huh.
Fabricio is done, I don't think Fabricio needs to continue having more experiences, because I'm identifying with that energy, with that love. So that love is everywhere anyways already.
Right.
So
I
that's
do-
why I see it, and I'm okay with that. I'm not afraid or anything. I can say Fabricio is going to be gone, but I know myself to be more than just Fabricio or having a soul. Some people get scared when I say I don't believe that I have a soul, but that's how I feel it. It's just I see it as the love, as the energy, like a. It's an
Yeah.
interesting idea.
It is very interesting. Yeah, I love it. Just different. And I do believe that it's true for you,
Yeah.
because that's you, unique. I do believe that, well, we are not going to go into free will, right? If it does exist or it doesn't. But sometimes I am more inclined to say, yeah, we do have free will. Like, of course, I hear a lot of like past lives and things like that, and then you come back, and so then that you choose what you are going to experience
Mm-hmm.
in every lifetime. So then for me, that's free will. Okay, if I do decide what humans I'm going to hang out with, what I'm going to experience and do, so then that's free will. Like, so then again, so that means I am God experiencing itself. Like I am God myself,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So it's not something that decides what I'm going to experience. I don't like the concept of, oh, God has a plan for you. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, yeah, maybe, again, maybe that's true for them, right? But not for me. Like, I don't like to think about, oh, it's God's plan. I don't believe that. I like to believe more about my soul decided
Yeah.
what I'm going to experience here as a Valkyrie with this body.
Yeah.
So, do you think about um, death
I used to a lot, but yeah.
before?
I used to, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm asking you because you are in midlife, and I've heard that that's like a thing, right? Like we tend to, okay, oh my goodness, I'm like they call it midlife crisis, right? Oh my God, where I'm at in life and what I'm going to do
Mm-hmm.
moving forward. And okay, all the things that I want to do or my bucket list, oh my goodness, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to fulfill them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you think about that?
No, because I always said like if you're in the spiritual path and you want to experience the divine, you have to go through that portal of death or that the fear to be that death,
Mm-hmm.
because you want to see beyond. You want to get to see what's beyond that, and if you want to see what's beyond, you have to go through like the fear of death. And I did. I have my death experience. I had it, and I of course I was terrified, but I pushed through and I met the divine in myself. So now with that, it's just the fear is gone. I don't have the fear of dying.
Can you share a
In
little?
fact, I feel like I died many times in many ceremonies, and
Okay,
yeah,
that's what you're talking about when
yeah,
you go through the ceremony of,
hmm,
okay,
yeah,
it's like a death
yeah,
and then a rebirth, like
yeah,
a new.
yeah, many times, yeah.
That's very
So
profound.
so yeah, so that's not there. So I know when the time comes, it will come in a way that I'm used to now. I guess I'm just ready for it.
Right. A few years ago, I volunteered in a hospice facility, and I wanted to do that for many reasons, and one of them was to really experience how, well, the main reason was to be of assistance to others, really. Like that was my heart's desire back then. And I could see so many people, like they don't have family members, they didn't have children and things like that. And most of them, it was not like sad when I got to take care of somebody that was ready. It was conscious, the person was ready. And I could see peace, like total
Mm-hmm.
peace, like acceptance, right? And they like their eyes literally saying, I am ready for this. I'm not afraid. But also got to see the opposite,
Mm-hmm.
where people are not ready and you can see just the fear. So I don't know if it comes with, of course, oftentimes is the way they have lived their lives, right? And the level of or capacity to accept what is inevitable, like it's just going to happen, right? I'm going to
Yeah.
die. So that taught me a lot, and I'm very grateful for that experience. It was not easy when I got to take care of somebody that was not ready, but it was beautiful when I got to see the other side.
Hmm.
And I think and I hope, because I do believe that I don't know yet if I will be peaceful, if I happen to even
Yeah.
have the opportunity to prepare mentally, let's say, God forbid, terminal illness, right? And just waiting and waiting. Like how, I don't think anybody can really say, okay. I mean, it does take a very conscious person. Like I believe that you will not be afraid, right? You will say, I am ready. It's okay. I'm going,
Yeah.
right? As a person that is not very conscious, let's say, I don't know how to call it, would say, I'm afraid, I'm not ready. And, or I love so much my life.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
can be another face of the coin. Like, I don't want to go. Like, I am too young, or blah,
I
blah.
haven't done this,
I
I haven't
haven't
done
done,
that,
right,
I'm not good terms with this person or this person. Yeah.
right.
But
So,
it's just like the one of the things that I see is like as we grow up, as we are born and we are like immediately inheriting like a lot of traumas and fears from our parents, and being born is just the first trauma because you are being born. That's the fear of death already implanted in our psychic, in our most intimate fiber of psychic. We all get imprinted with that,
right.
and we live our life. We build our brain, and we have different things going on. So that's always there for everybody. It's just you decide to work on it or not. So if you work on it and in your subconscious mind and your fears, you will get to it at some point, and you will make peace with it. And fears are there to be transcended. That's so. So the spiritual path give you that you at some point you need to fear that, face that, I guess. Yeah.
Right, face. Talking about the bucket list, can you share with us some of the items in your bucket list?
Mm, that's a good question. It's not like I have anything. I don't feel like I need to go visit a place now because, yeah. Um, so my bucket list is, I would say, do what I'm doing right now, just bringing people together and see that flourish. That would be my bucket list, like something that I
Yeah.
would really like to see, bring more people together, impact more people, and seeing that community grow and love and peace and harmony. Yeah.
So, are you studying or preparing yourself in some way to become like a shaman or anything like that, a healer? I mean, given that you have this beautiful space now and that you want to bring together more people, I'm just curious if you are preparing yourself in that way or just by being yourself like you have done
Yeah.
now.
I think I'm learning as we go because like when we're gathering with people, I see things and I feel things, and from every gathering, I'm like, okay, I can do this next time, or I can do this next time. So I'm kind of like learning as we go because it's just inspiration. Like I see something happening, and like, oh yeah, we're doing it this way, but we could be doing it this way, which will impact more or will have different results. So I have a lot of ideas that are just feeding me from what I'm doing right now. So when it comes to events or different ideas, how to facilitate different things, so I'm getting a lot of insights when it comes to that just by doing it.
I
But
love it because it is like it's going to be like a mix, right? Learning from everyone and just
yeah,
putting it out there to everyone.
yeah, and just being open and seeing what people love the most and what do they enjoy, what makes them shine. So, okay, this makes people open more. So okay, I'll take that. So this helps me with that. So that's what I'm doing. Just and yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So, to wrap up, what type of meditations or routines you use in your daily life to keep you grounded and connected with the divine, or you don't really practice anything or just whatever you feel in the moment? I mean, I believe, since you are an artist, your meditation is just to create music, and to every time that you create something, you are fully present, right, with your love, putting it into it.
Yeah, music is a big part. I listen to music a lot, and sometimes I have those moments where just music. Usually running too. I love to run. It gets me in a nice state, meditative state. And grounded, I'm always grounded because I'm always barefoot, so no problems there, and I have plants everywhere inside my house.
Yes.
I also really wake up usually an hour before when I'm supposed to wake up, to get up. So during that time I have a meditation where I kind of go in and out of my sleeping state. I wake up and I just kind of like surf that area, and it's an active, because sometimes I could just be in gratitude, sometimes I could be really wanting to work on something, and it's a way of like a very thin line where you just go up and down and you're awake, but then you fall asleep, then you wake up again, and it's kind of like that state, and I do that every day. So that's the main one. And then going to bed too. Before going to bed, usually have a quick meditation or a quick intention for the day, or usually it's just being of service, like having the intention to be where I need to be, doing whatever I need to do by inspiration, not just by what I want.
Beautiful. Inspiration.
Divine inspiration.
Yes, divine inspiration. So please tell us where people can find your music, your YouTube channel.
Yeah, so for the music, it's as Fab everywhere and online. It's on all the major stores, and there's more music coming. Also, divinehumancenter.com. That's a website where I have a lot of information about the events that we're doing, some videos, and some links to the music as well. And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Fabricio. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here and your beautiful self. And thank you, my dear listeners and viewers. And we will leave you with some beautiful images of the Divine Human Center and some building happening as well. And please enjoy. See you next time. Love and light.